Hello, welcome. Hope you're in your comfy chair. Grab your favorite drink, coffee, tea. Today I have my water. And join us for From My Heart to Yours conversation. My guest today is my angel mom friend, Cheryl Juaire. So, welcome.
Thank you. This is exciting.
Thank you for joining us today. So, you're an angel mom twofold,
I am.
and that brings a whole new dynamic to your life, I'm sure. And we're going to talk a little bit about it, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're angel mom to Shorian, Corey, and Sean.
Correct.
So, what I'd like to hear is something about your angels that brought you joy. Is there a memory of Corey and Sean together or separately? What's something that makes you smile when you think of your kids?
Something that was really, really funny with my kids. I have three boys, and my oldest is Bobby, and then Sean was the middle one, and Corey was the youngest one. And they always, when I was separated from their dad, they always, we were very, very, very close. But they were always in competition as to who was mom's favorite. So one year I found actually a CVS ornaments at Christmas that said firstborn, mom's favorite, middle child, mom's favorite, and lastborn, mom's favorite. So I bought those ornaments and I put them on their gifts. So when Bobby got it, he's the oldest. He looked at the ornament and on his gift, and he's like, "See, I told you guys, I'm mom's favorite." And then Sean got his, the middle child, who's always like, the redheaded middle child, right? He's like, "Oh no, it's me. Mom just said so. So I got it." And then Corey, Chris being the youngest, and he was spoiled and he kind of was the favorite child. He got it too. And he's like, "No, it's definitely me." So we had laughs for years over that story.
I think that's the perfect that's the perfect memory because it's a humorous moment with all your children together.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still hang Sean and Corey's on our Christmas tree.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. So
Yeah.
what is Corey's forever age?
Corey is forever 23.
And
Even
what
though he
year
was
did
young.
he pass?
He passed in 2011, February 24th.
And then Sean, what is his forever age and when did he pass?
Sean's forever age is 42, and he passed 10 years after Corey. He passed June 25th, 2021.
So did they both pass from substance use disorder,
They did.
overdose?
They did. Yes. Corey passed from a heroin overdose. I don't believe fentanyl was really around during that time. And Sean had fentanyl laced cocaine.
I am so sorry.
Mm.
And I know Sean was very active in the recovery community.
He was on top of his game for like 5 years. Him and I, you could have almost said he was the favorite child at that point, because him and I we were a tag team. He helped me with team sharing. I helped him with team challenge, which is where he was involved, and we were inseparable. We talked every single day. He was amazing in his recovery.
So the 10-year, 4-month gap, I can't imagine where you began on your grief journey after Corey, and then right again, you're thrown into it after Sean. So what have you noticed some of the differences and similarities?
Well, first I want to share that when I lost Corey, um, I didn't know anybody. He tried to talk to me about addiction. I didn't know anything about addiction. So I just thought it was his choice. I thought it was he did some drugs in high school and he was just kind of continuing. So I would really get on him to just stop, not realizing that he couldn't. So when Corey passed, I suffered in my grief alone. I didn't know anybody that had lost a child, let alone to addiction. So for the next 3 years, until I met some more angel moms, I suffered. And so, which is how I came about starting Team Sharing, was because I didn't want any other mother to ever feel that suffering as I had. So fast forward 10 years later, when Sean passed, I had about 20 moms at my house, making sure that I had slippers on, my bathrobe on, that I was eating, that I was sleeping, that I had, they were in the corner at the wake, all back in the corner, all just chit chat and just all keeping their eye on me. And that was amazing to me, that I realized what we do. But now, as far as the grief goes, it's been really, really difficult. It's been really hard for me because I understand the disease of addiction, and I understood and I knew that I was going to lose my son back in 2018 when he relapsed. And I knew there was nothing I could do to fix him. I just had to let it ride out and pray that maybe he would find hope. So losing two, it's really difficult. It's really hard, especially around like the holidays, because now I have one son who will come over for my birthday or will come over at Christmas now. It's not the big house of a big family anymore. It's just one.
And I appreciate what you said too about the support that you got after Sean passed. Because as you said, after Corey passed, so many of us were in the same situation, even though Corey was 10 years ago, Ryan was 3.5 years ago. I didn't know anybody else who lost a child to overdose or fentanyl or anything. And I really wasn't knowledgeable about substance use disorder or addiction.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So the education on my part, and it sounds like yours too, came about after.
Right.
We got educated after the fact. And you got educated and then you saw the signs with Sean. So having to realize when he relapsed, that must have been heartbreaking for you.
It was. But like I said, as long as there's breath, there's hope, right? So, I just had to let it ride out, and I just had to pray and ask God to save him one way or another. And I believe he did.
Yes. Yeah. And I know what you mean. I know what you're saying exactly. And I love that other sister moms were there to support you after Sean, and knowing the importance of that. And that's what we do.
Right.
We through our tragedy, we're in a tribe.
Yep.
Amongst ourselves, because we do need the support. We need the love. We need the encouragement. We need to know that you will get through today.
Right. Exactly.
One
day at a time.
One day at a time. You'll get through today, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do to get through the day, that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need help, there's a whole tribe of us out there. We're ready to help.
There is.
So, you are the founder of Team Sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell us how it started, who it's for, the purpose of it, the whole dynamic of Team Sharing.
Okay, so it started, like I said, after Corey died and me not knowing anybody and suffering in my grief alone, which was horrible. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So back in August 5th, 2015, I met a group of moms. From Facebook, somebody saw somebody and she reached out to 6 of us. So there were 7 altogether to meet for dinner. And I got a message that said, I know you don't know me, but there's a bunch of us moms and we're going out to dinner. We're meeting at this restaurant tomorrow night. Would love to have you come. So I said, I don't know what this is all about. This could be some psycho people. I have no idea, but I just feel like I need to be there. So I went, and there were 7 of us that sat around that table, and we laughed and we cried and we shared. And so, there were times during those 3 years where I just felt like I want to die. I just didn't want to live anymore, but I wasn't going to kill myself. But I just didn't want to live with this pain. And guess what? That one felt that way, and that one felt that way, and they all felt that way. And I was like, you did really, like, and so we all shared all these different things. And another thing we shared was that over time, people forget our child's date of birth and date of death because, they come to the wake and funeral, and then life goes on for them. But those are such important dates for us, so that when they come, even our family and what we sometimes think are close friends completely forget the day. They didn't write it down or whatever. So to join team sharing, that was the requirement, was that, you need to share with us your child's name, date of birth, and date of death, because in there we will never forget, and you will never be alone. So, the purpose of team sharing. So let me just back up. So that night I went home and I created a group on Facebook, and the only reason was for just us 7. That was the purpose, was just for us 7 to have a place to go to. Because we started with Messenger, but we blew it right up. So we had a Facebook, and they had to share their child's name, date of death. And the next thing you know, another one's coming in, and another one's coming in, another one, and then they're asking to join from other parts of the country. And I'm like, oh well, I kind of didn't want to do that, because we had such a bond, and we were all able to meet because we were in the same state. So now if I do that, it's not going to be intimate and personal. And so that's kind of when we decided to start other state chapters. And then we put them all into our national organization. So God had a plan. It wasn't my plan, but God had a plan. So, and the purpose, you had asked, is just so that no mother or father ever has to grieve alone. That was my sole purpose, is that nobody has to feel that pain alone. And so many, many times in Massachusetts, we have gone to wakes and funerals of people we don't know, and we know that their child died. 5 or 6 of us will show up, and we'll just tell that mom, we know what you're going through, and here, this is how you can reach out to us. We're there when you're ready, because they may not be ready.
And what I like with what is different with team sharing is it's open to angel moms and angel dads.
Yes.
Yes. Where it's supporting either parent, both parents who want to join. And I've seen interaction on the national chapter from angel dads.
Yeah. They're far and few between, because men have Mr. Fix It, and so
yep.
But they're there. Yeah.
They're there. And it's a place for anybody in our shoes to get support and comfort and reassurance. And like you said, remembering, because our biggest fear is that our angels will be forgotten.
Right.
So I take care of the Florida page for team sharing. And I make sure as often as I can, beside their birthdays and anniversaries, to talk about your angels. Right. Discussion about your angels, or say their name. And I find a lot of new sister moms in their grief, they're not ready to share pictures. And that's okay. And that's really okay. Sometimes it's overwhelming.
Right.
And
they took that first. Yeah, they took that first step and joined. And now, and I'll tell them, just sit back and watch, sit back and listen. And when you're ready and you want to share, go ahead and share, make a comment. There's no judgment. There's no, certainly no stigma in there. And we just do life together now.
Right. And that's key too, is because there's no judgment. We're
Right.
faced with judgment when it comes to Facebook from sometimes innocently, I'll call it innocently, but family and friends will make comments that they think are helpful, but they're really hurtful.
Right.
And
And in that instance, we need to give them grace because
right.
because they don't know. And even though it hurts, you know, yeah, we need to give them grace sometimes.
Right. And then I think too, it's giving them a little bit of education about our grief, not in a
Right.
bad way, but
Right.
just like, hey, this is normal. And that's why I'm really glad you're talking with me today. It's to give a little insight, you
Right.
know?
Yep.
When we know better, we do better.
Right.
So, how many members now do you think are in the nationwide team sharing?
So we have I think we're close to 4,000 members
Mhm.
in the national chapter.
And how many states is it
We have
team
25
sharing in?
state chapters.
Plus
Some not
Canada.
so active because, you know, some areas still, parents don't want to talk about how their child passed. And so, you know, we're trying to educate there too and
Mhm.
say it's okay, you know. But we have a chapter in Canada. We have a siblings chapter. Yeah.
What other chapters are there? I know, like you said, okay, there's siblings and there's 25 state chapters. Are there other chapters of team sharing?
Hopefully we're going to start one for two or more soon, the loss of two or more, so that because that's a little bit of a different kind of loss when you've lost two or more.
And I hate to say it, but I have noticed in the past couple of years that many families are losing two or more children to
I
this
know.
awful disease.
Yep. Yep.
Awful.
Yep.
And it's I can't speak from that experience, but you can. And I think a group geared toward that would be very, very helpful because it's a different dynamic that many of us aren't familiar with. We
Right.
don't want to. It's scary. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a scary thought. So to
Yeah.
have that support, I think that's a good thing if it's going to be out there.
Yeah.
So, well, I thank you for starting team sharing. You want to share a picture of Corey and Sean? Tell us
I
who's who.
certainly will.
Okay, let's see their smiley faces.
So that's Sean. He's the one that was 42. He was my middle child. So that was his favorite picture. So I have that everywhere. And then this is Corey. And so, you know, sadly, back in 2011, we didn't have iPhones back then. You know, we had flip phones. So I don't have much for pictures of Corey. So what you usually see is what I've had for the past 10 years. So, but that's Corey. Corey had a 4.5-month-old daughter too when he passed. And she's now almost 12. So she's my joy.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing your boys. And you're right about the phones because I say with Ryan is forever 25. Thank God was the selfie generation.
Mm.
You know, it's like in the
Oh,
beginning, it was like, what do you do? How many pictures of yourself do you need? But
right,
when you lose a child, thank God they took so many selfies.
right. I mean, so in my memories, every single day, Sean's coming up in my memories, and it's a blessing and a curse because when I see it, I feel a piercing in my heart, you
Yeah.
know, of deep sadness. But then it's nice, you know, the blessing is to have all these photos for the rest of my life because if there was a camera around, he was in it. You know, people would make fun of him because he loved his picture taken. So there's no shortage of pictures for Sean.
So August is Overdose Awareness Month. Are there any upcoming events that you'd like to share?
As well, so as far as overdose awareness
Yeah,
events,
or
there,
anything Team Sharon's doing
well,
specifically?
I'd like to share this really big event. So this is happening on Saturday, August 8th, 13th, sorry. It's a ride for drug awareness, and it's been put on by the Taunton Elks, Taunton Lodge of Elks Motorcycle Club and Team Sharing. So it's a dual purpose fundraiser, and it's going to be a huge day. I can't wait for this day because it's going to be really huge. So we have that coming up. Of course, we're gearing towards Christmas. So that's always been a really big thing for Team Sharing. It's the Christmas gifts that we do.
What you want to share about what you do in case people aren't aware for
Yes.
Christmas?
So if you're in Team Sharing and you're a parent who has lost a child, which is obviously why you're in there, but if that child had a child or children, and we post this in all the groups, we want to give your child that child or children a gift. We usually limit the gift to $100. This isn't a financial thing, because if you're rich or you're poor, their hearts break just the same. So we want to, Team Sharing wants to buy your grandchild a gift, and would like it to be something that they really, really want. So that's why we put it at about $100. And then when they get the gift, thank God for Amazon, I order it and ship it out to the grandparents, who wrap it. And then when they give it to the grandchild, they take a picture of them opening it. And they say it's from somebody that loves your mom or dad, whatever. So the kids are just thrilled to get something, and they know it's going to come from Team Sharing. So again, there's no financial ask or anything. It's just if you have a child or children. And I did this because when I saw Faith, like when we'd go to the beach when she was just a little girl, and I'd watch her look at a dad that's playing with their child, their daughter, and she would just look like curious, and my heart just broke. And so I'm like, these kids didn't deserve this, not
Right.
that it was, but they really, they're the ones we have to really care about and take care of. And so then here in Massachusetts, because this is our home base, we do a live one. And every year we have about 50 children that have all lost a mom or dad there. And we have Santa Claus come up on a fire truck. We have the Christmas tree. We have face painting, cookie decorating. We have a full lunch for everybody. We have activities going on for a few hours. We have music and dancing, and it's just a fun day, and they love it. They all love it.
And that's beautiful. That really is such a beautiful way of giving back
Mhm.
to so many innocent people are left behind.
Right, right.
You
So
know,
what we didn't mention too is that I'm a nonprofit. So 2015 Team Sharing started. In 2017 I became a nonprofit, and we help with benevolence. So we help with burials, especially more so because when they've lost a second child, we help with that. And but we do a lot for the kids. We do backpack drives, we do coat drives, we do a lot for the kids.
you do, and I see that, and it's when you see the opportunities that are out there, that you feel the love. You
Right.
feel you feel the love. And for the gifts, not the ones located in Massachusetts, are the gifts if somebody wants to put in for their grandchild, Is that in any of the state chapters?
Any
Is
of the
that open
states,
to?
everything but Massachusetts.
Okay.
So, and Pennsylvania does their own thing too. But yeah, all the states, all the
So
states.
I would say just keep your eyes open, look for the posts. I know team sharing, the administrators and the groups do a great job of getting the information out there, reminding you what's going on, what you need to do, the deadlines. So if you're thinking about joining, please know that you will have to answer the questions because they are private groups.
Right.
You'll have to answer the questions. And that is so that way it stays a safe environment
Hmm.
for parents
Yes.
that join. And you
Hmm.
can join the national chapter, and if there's a state chapter, you can join both.
Right.
And what I
Yeah.
love about the state chapters is it gives you a chance to know other people in your area. You never know who your neighbor is,
The next street over,
right?
there might be a mom sitting there all by herself that didn't know that you were there.
Out when through the Front Project sending a card. I was sending a card to an angel mom. She lived a mile down the road from me.
Wow. Wow.
I
See?
was just like, that's that.
Yep.
It's not a coincidence. It was like,
Right.
wow, you were meant to do that. So the national chapter is there. The state chapters are there. What I'll do is I'll post links in the comments.
Hmm.
So that way, if you want to join, it'll take you to the link. You can always reach out to Cheryl Juaire or myself, and we can answer any questions you have. So as we wrap up, I'd like to end with a positive thought. So do you have a positive thought, maybe advice you'd like to give to a grieving parent?
Um, well, I guess the positive thought would be, there's always hope, even though, a lot of parents that have lost one maybe have another one in active addiction, but don't give up hope. Um, there's always hope. As long as there's breath, there's hope.
Right. And that's true. And I've heard that said many times, where there's
Mhm.
breath, there's hope.
Yep.
So
Yep.
don't feel you're alone. So, as we wrap up, thank you for the positive thought. Any questions or comments that you have, just post them in the comments. You can find the From Project on Facebook. It is a public page, or you can send an email to the From Project at gmail.com. Remember, angel parents, you are not alone. I'm sending you love, hugs, support, and compassion from my heart to yours. I am forever Ryan's mom. There's my cutie. There he is. And I know, I'm sure you think the same way with your boys as I do mine, is that I hope I'm making them proud.
Oh, I know we are.
And
We sure are.
and I know
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
So until the next time, sit back, relax, and have a great day.
You
So
as well.
love you.